wanna save money, on the best tech, value tech sense, value tech sense. Welcome to another video. Welcome to another video. Alright, man, Pro Gaming Engine. The Pro Gaming Engine in the new Vizios. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and make this real short as far as how I feel about it. It's lit. Alright, it's lit. Straight up. I'm not gonna waste time in this video trying to show y'all all the examples. So what I did, I put a little video montage together at the end of the video. Alright, at the end, with a bunch of gameplay showing you how buttery smooth and how dope the Pro Gaming Engine is. Alright, everybody that's had all the questions in the comment section about gaming and, you know, can you get to the gaming part? Can you get to the gaming part? Look, man, when I do videos, right? When I do videos, I try to give y'all the most information I can give you. It's taken me several days to play with these settings, to play with, make sure I got it hooked up right, make sure it's working right, and trying to figure out what it does and how it does what it does. That way I can give y'all the best information. So this is going to be an in-depth look at this Pro Gaming Engine, all right? An in-depth look. So I can show y'all how to get it set up, make sure you got it set up right, and show you how to get the most out of it. Because a lot of y'all don't know, all y'all that's got this jittery stuff going on, man, you just don't have it set up right, or you don't understand it fully. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, we're going to start it off with the TV. Alright, with the TV first. Go into your TV, go into your menu. Alright, I had someone in the comment section say it was a jittery mess, and they went and switched their input setting, right? They went down here to input setting and switched this HDMI mode to 2.1. You do not need to do that. All right, you do not need to do that. Now, one of the things that Linus Tech Tips said when he did a review was they don't even have an HDMI 2.1 graphics card yet. All right, if you know how to look at videos and decipher, take the little jewels out of the videos, all right, you can, they drop little jewels in that review. You just had to pay attention to it, man. Your Xbox One X is not a 2.1 device, okay? It's a 2.0 device. All right, if you have a 2.1 device hooked up to the TV, it will automatically switch for you. It will engage itself. That was one of the things with last year's model. There was a lot of people who returned Vizios, or had problems with the Vizio, saying it didn't look right, because on last year's model, by default, the UHD color was set to off. So when I did settings videos, I always had to go tell everybody to switch their TV to quick start, right? Quick start, which I always do. Anytime you get these TVs, as soon as you get a Vizio, man, go down to the power mode in the system settings and change this eco mode to quick start. All right, the TV is not going to give you its best unless this is on quick start. All right, so that's first. And then when you go into your picture and your input settings, last year, where if someone bought the TV and they plugged it up and they didn't get the color output, they didn't get the UHD color, it didn't look that good. That's because by default, Vizio had it set to off, and you had to really go in there on each of your inputs and set it to on. So this was an improvement from last year, because you can literally get this TV, turn it on quick start, right? And your HDMI inputs are going to automatically go to full color UHD. It's on auto. All right, that's a big ups to them for doing that, because I don't even have to tell people to go to their input settings anymore and tell them to switch it and make sure full UHD color is on. They did that for you. So when you do get a 2.1 device, right, when these things start coming out, it will automatically switch for you. So leave that alone. Leave it on auto. All right. As far as that's concerned with the TV picture settings and the gaming engine, that's all you need to worry about at this point for variable refresh rates. All right, now let's get over here to the Xbox settings. All right, we're gonna go to the Xbox settings. Go into the settings, and we'll go over here to general TV display options. You go to the 4K details. All right, everything's checked off. It checks off all of the boxes. See all those checks from the top to the bottom. All right, then you go over here to video modes. Auto low latency mode is checked off, and allow variable refresh rates. All right, so make sure these are checked off. When you first hook it up, these won't be checked off. You just go into your video modes and make sure you check both of these off. All right, and you're set as far as variable refresh rates go. Now, some of y'all in the comment section was asking me about the clear action. When it's in game mode, the clear action doesn't work. When you got VRR going, when you have variable refresh rates, you do not need clear action. All right, you do not need clear action. But one thing y'all need to understand is that your variable refresh rates, they don't kick in until in between. They kick in between 48 hertz and 60 hertz. All right. So when I go over here to this Pro Gaming Engine and the variable refresh rate is set to on, right? If I go back to motion control, clear action, you can't do anything with it because you don't need it. All right, your refresh rate of the TV and the FPS of the game are going to be in sync. Your motion is going to be flawless. It's going to be butter. But that's only in between 48 hertz and 60 hertz. So what you got to understand is a lot of these games are 30 FPS. If you're playing a game that's 30 FPS, right, your variable refresh rates aren't working because they don't work at 30 hertz. They start working at 48 hertz. All right, let's go over the computer, man. Let me show you that real quick. All right, so real quick, man, Vizio's 2020 Smartcast TV Lineups. All right, I'm just going to go down here real quick, man. I'll make it real brief for y'all. P-Series Quantum X and the P-Series, those are your 120 hertz panel options from Vizio. And when you get down here to the M-Series, the M-Series Quantum, M7s and M8s, we're going to go down here to variable refresh rates. See, on the 120 hertz, you're between 48 hertz and 120 hertz. And since this is a 60 hertz panel, you are in between 48 hertz and 60 hertz. Okay, so if you're playing a game that's 30 FPS, you will not be getting variable refresh rates. All right, so all of the games that are Xbox One X enhanced, the ones that have the frame rate options that you can play at higher refresh rates, right? Even that Tomb Raider, the one where you can go in and you can select the frame rate mode or the performance mode versus the graphics mode. All right, that's how you get these games to take advantage of this. And there are some games that use dynamic resolution and are 4K 60. All right, they just instead of losing the frame rate, instead of prioritizing the graphics, they prioritize the frame rate. And instead of the frame rate taking dips, even though it does still take minor dips, the resolution takes dips, and those are harder to notice when you're gaming, as frame dips are. Frame dips are very noticeable. Graphical dips, when you're when you see explosions and stuff, I mean, you really got to be looking at your TV with a microscope to notice those type of things. But you can definitely notice frame dips. All right, so if you are gaming and you're playing a game that's 30 FPS, you're not getting the VRR feature to work for you. All right, so let's get back. So if you're not playing a game that's hitting a higher refresh rate above 48 hertz, you're not getting the variable refresh rates. This is going to work on your 60 FPS games. All right, not going to work on your 30 FPS games. But if you're playing a game that's 30 FPS, right? So you know that your variable refresh rate is not going to work in 30 frames. Then you turn this to off. Right? I just turn variable refresh rates to off. Once you turn that to off, it's going to come back. You can go back go to your motion control, and now you can set your clear action. Clear action does dim the TV significantly on this one. Last year, clear action, when you turn it on, you hardly saw it dim, but on this one, it does dim the picture. All right, but if you're playing a 30 FPS game, something below 48, which really you're only going to get 30 or 60, really. So if it's not 60 FPS, man, you can go in here, turn that variable refresh rate to off, and you can engage your clear action. All right, now I'm going to go back. I'm going to turn that gaming engine back on. My bad. Let's go right here. Let's turn that variable refresh rate back to on. So that's it for variable refresh rates. All right, that's how you use it. You have to understand those things to get the most out of the variable refresh rates, and the gameplay is butter. All right, and I will have a montage at the end of the video with nothing but gameplay, so you can see how smooth it is. All right, now that's the first part of the Pro Gaming Engine. The next part is this game HDR. All right. The game HDR. Now I'll tell you right now, the tone mapping on the new Vizio is way better than last year's model. The HDR tone mapping is way better. Way better. I'm talking about like leagues better. All right, and I'm going to show you that. All right, but I have this set to off right now. What I'm going to do is get this set up so I could show you on a dual screen how much better the tone mapping is when it comes to HDR. I'll be right back. Alright, now we got it set up. As far as the tone mapping goes, alright, the HDR tone mapping, I will definitely say that the new Vizios is better than last year as far as the tone mapping is concerned, man. The colors pop, the colors are deeper. It's just amazing. And the only knock with this comparison right here is the fact that this M series from last year has 600 nits and this one's 400 nits. But even with that going on, all right, even though that TV is brighter, the tone mapping makes my eyes, I don't know if you'll be able to see this through the camera, but I'm going to try to show you this as best I can. My eyes want to look at the one at the bottom. All right. Now, when I turn this on, it's going to come on in SDR, and then it'll blank out because it'll be switching to HDR 10, and you'll be able to see the difference in the tone mapping. All right. Let's go ahead and start this up. And I have both of these in the calibrated dark mode. All right, no picture settings. This is straight out of the box picture mode. All right, let's go ahead and start it. So you got them both there in SDR. And they're going to blank out and they're going to go into their HDR mode. All right. Now, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but the one on the bottom, the new Vizio, I mean, it's actually brighter and the colors are more deeper. The reds are redder. It just looks better. It just looks better. And we got 600 nits on the top. 600 nits on the top, 400 nits on the bottom. And the one on the bottom, let me turn this music down, man. You know they be tripping. It just pops better, man. It just pops better. And see, when you go into when you turn your game on, when you turn your game system on, right? If you're not in gaming, let me show you this real time real quick. All right. Let me just hold on a minute. Let me show you all these colors, and then I'll show you what I was about to show you. All right. So if I scroll over, let me pull something up for you. Like this right here. That red on the bottom looks more red. All right, the one on the top looks, I mean, it looks phenomenal. And I've been gaming on that TV for a minute. The HDR is popping, but when you put it next to another one, you really could see the difference of the red. All right. It just has a little more pop to it, man. Just has a little more color pop to it. Really, that red is really saturated. Like if I was jumping into the picture settings, I would actually tone that red down. I would actually tone it down when I do the settings. But it really pushes the color in its HDR mode. All right, those yellows are way more yellow. That's that gaming engine doing that. That's making a 400 nit TV look brighter than a 600 nit TV. So I can't imagine what that M8's gonna look like with 800 nits. I can't imagine what it's gonna look like. But it definitely pushes the color. Now, what I want to show you, what I was trying to show you, if you go into the menu, I'm going to zoom in on the one on the bottom. All right. Let me zoom in so y'all can pay attention to this. All right. I'm going to go into the menu. You'll see here, when you go into your picture settings, you have a tone mapping feature right here. Tone mapping, and that's probably why it was blew out so much with the colors, because I'll go ahead, I'm gonna do all this real time, man. Just pay attention. I'm trying to show you exactly how to get the most out of this gaming engine, so you know how it works. All right, so let's go back to this picture right here. You see how saturated it is, because it's not only what you do in the TV, man. These games have all these HDR games. You got to go into the game settings. They have a feature where you can adjust the contrast and everything like that. But if you go into this tone mapping, which right now it's set all the way on 100, let's start toning it down. Let's bring it in, right? You can adjust the tone mapping. You can adjust the tone mapping so it's not so saturated. It depends, but you actually have a gaming engine where you can actually go in here and dial in the HDR to get the most out of it. All right, and the part that I have set to off, let's go back in here real quick. I will go to, let's go picture settings. Let's go back to the Pro Gaming Engine. All right. Pro Gaming Engine. This part that's set to off is Game HDR. See, I have it set to off. I don't even have that part on. This is just the regular tone mapping. That's once you're gaming. Now, what this Game HDR does is it makes the highlights even brighter. All right, see that? I'll turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. It really like adds that extra flair, that extra pop to the highlights. I mean, that just looks way better, man, than the old one. And once you turn that on, right? Once you turn that on, then you can go in here and you can actually adjust the tone mapping. And see, if I turn that all the way up with Game HDR on, it really just, I mean, it starts clipping. It just blows it out of control. All right. So if I go in here with the tone mapping and I start adjusting it down, right? I mean, look at this, man. It looks perfect, man. It gives you that depth. It gives you that HDR pop that you want in HDR. That's what that HDR mode does. That's what it does. All right. And it is fire, my G's. I mean, seriously. If you look at both of these side by side, if you look at both of them side by side, the one on the bottom compared to the top, I don't know how well you can see it through the camera, but it is a major upgrade and a major difference. Now, I'm gonna show you. The flaws in this. All right, I'm about to show you the flaws in this, and this flaw right here has nothing to do with the gaming engine. Nothing to do with the gaming engine, but I just want to show you this real time. All right, be right back. Now you'll be able to see this because in here there's a, I'm not going to go in here and actually play. I'm just showing you the HDR performance. and what you can expect from the gaming engine. Some games, that gaming HDR is better just turned off. And it's not because of the gaming engine, it's actually because of the limitations of the 50-inch. And I'm going to show you that. But if you're playing a game with like dark scenery and stuff like that, it's really dark, I mean, it definitely will give you a lot more HDR pop. But that M8 is killing this TV just off contrast and brightness. It's not gonna, you're not gonna murder this. This TV's not gonna murder no M8, man. Now, if you see, there's a lot of clouds at the top. There's a lot of clouds, right? A lot of clouds at the top. Let's see if I can get it over here so you can see that. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, man. I'll probably have to turn this way down for you to see it. But where there's a sun right there, there's a lot of clouds around that sun. Over here, it's just washed out. Let me blow this up, man. Let me get close so you can see this. I'm going to go in here to the gaming engine, and I'm actually going to turn it off. I'm actually going to go in here and turn off that HDR. The VRR is good, but I'm going to go in here to the Pro Gaming Engine. Boom. And let's just turn this HDR off. You see that? Now all that cloud and all that shadow detail is there. But when I turn this on, it just clipped everything. It clipped everything. Alright? And I can go in here and I can go to the tone mapping is on 0. So if I turn this tone mapping up, look, it really blowed it out. It really washed out the whole scene. All right, but if I turn that down to 0, it is still clipping. All right, it's still clipping everything, man. So if I go over here back to the Pro Gaming Engine, and I actually go in here and turn this off, all of the details are back. All of the shadow details are there. And that is not the fault of the Pro Gaming Engine as much as it is as a limitation to the dimming zones. Because this TV has 16 local dimming zones. So as much as this TV wants to tone map that area right there, when it lights up something, it's lighting up an entire section of the TV because of the dimming zones. All right, I don't want to bore y'all with test patterns, but I'm going to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about, man. And then we'll wrap this video up. All right, so we on the Spears and Montel benchmark disc, man. And we're just gonna count these dimming zones. I've already done this. Like I said, I don't want to bore y'all with test patterns, man. This is stuff that I do, but this is why the Pro Gaming Engine, the HDR portion of it, is limited on this TV. All right, we're just gonna count the dimming zones. All right, there's 8 on the right, there's 8 on the left. Let's let that run through. All right, that's 1 right there. See, this whole side, that whole square right there, this whole block is a dimming zone. All right, that's 1. It's going to shut off. The other one's going to pick up. See that? That's 2. That's how these dimming zones are, man. So the problem with having 16 local dimming zones and having that gaming engine is the fact that the areas that it wants to highlight, this whole block is going to highlight. So that's 2 dimming zones. We'll count them as it goes down. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 1 more. 16. 16 zones. So when this gaming engine wants to highlight certain highlights, because it was already a dark scene, it tone mapped it very well. But if you have an area like a sky, right, where there's a lot of light, the limitation of this is it's gonna light this whole entire area up. It really can't pinpoint those highlights the way it needs to. So I'm really curious to see how this will work on the M8, you know, with 90 zones, or the P series with 200 zones, P series Quantum X 384 zones, or 480 zones, or 792 zones. But where this is really gonna really shine is that OLED, because you're talking about this gaming engine will be able to pinpoint and tone map highlights on a pixel level. On a pixel level. See, it's not the gaming engine, it's actually this particular model that has that gaming engine limited. But that OLED, it can tone map pixel to pixel. That's gonna be, I can't wait to see what that, I mean, I'm on that P series Quantum X. I mean, that's gonna be my TV regardless. But I'm really curious to see how this HDR gaming engine will tone map when it can do it on a pixel level, and it's not limited to these big blocks as far as dimming zones, man. So pretty much, man, that's how you work your gaming engine, man. I know it took a few days to get this together for y'all, but I mean, in order for me to give y'all as much information as I can, dude, I had to play with it. I had to see what the limitations were. And right now, man, it's looking like a go.